It has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no rest. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to go two ways. Time it cannot know the bounds, and there are stones.
Well, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Xandermonium, the talk show that gets you talking. I'm Xander Gibb. And, wait a second. I'm Xander Gibb, and
I'm here now, Tyhe. Egar, hi.
I'm sorry about the technical difficulties. Welcome to Blog Talk. On today's show, we will be breaking down some of this week's hotter topics and discussing style for all with Stylist to the Stars, Olastyle Hawatmeh. And in part two, singer Kenyth Mogan will be dropping by. More to come in a mere moment. You can interact with us during the show in the chat room at the bottom of the page. Keep scrolling down. Now, if it doesn't let you chat, you have to join with Facebook or Twitter. Don't worry, it won't send you any awkward messages or sell your email address on to anybody else. You can call us on 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. Call us and tell us what you think about the topics we're discussing, or even start your own conversation. Or you can tweet us. My Twitter handle is at XanderGibb, XanderGibb, capital X, capital G, and you can tweet Tyhe. His Twitter handle is at TyhePaul Egar, TyhePaul Egar, capital T, capital P, capital E. You can tweet our style guru, who will be joining us later, Olastyle Hawatmeh. I will spell her name for you, Olahawatmeh, capital O, capital H. And Kenny will be with us later, Kenyth Mogan. And his Twitter handle is at Kenyth Mogan. I'll spell that for you too. Kenythmogan, capital K, capital M. And it's all on the show page for today at xandergibb.com. And you can tweet me or Tyhe if you're too shy, and we will make your points for you. Don't forget, it's the Season 3 premiere of Orphan Black tonight on BBC America, 9/8 Central. So be sure even to get yourself along to the Clone Club meeting. Bring me my sisters. So good afternoon to you, Tyhe, or should I say good evening in the UK. How has your week been to date?
It's been great. Are you not exhausted after that? It's kind of, well, that was the show, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like over to you for a couple of sentences.
Everybody needs to shorten their Twitter handles. That's the job for today. It's been good. Right. Yes, I've been preparing for the great venture for the new website. I'm perpetually starting websites. I think this has become my job. I'm just roaming around going, hello, here's a new website. But no, as you know, like Pride Voyager is taking up a lot of my time, and I'm writing out to the charities again. I want their JPEGs and their artwork and things, so I've got to do that again. And PrideCouples.com is now taking over my world. But don't worry, I'm not going to go into one about that. But that's just that's what I've been doing. And finally, started to do some writing again. So for people who are waiting for the second book. I inadvertently let it slip on Twitter last week that I hadn't done any writing for 6 weeks. So sorry about that, I confess. But because I've been doing all this, so now I have started writing again. So it's on its way again. But, there's only one of me, and I can only do what I can do. So there you go.
And there are only 24 hours in a day, unfortunately. And there are 24 hours in a day. Yeah. And I need at least 26 or 27 just to be able to do the things that I have to do. So anything over and above that, it's like, where do I find the time? But we will be doing a full featured segment on the work that Tyhe is doing in the next couple of weeks. Lots to announce for you there and lots of things to tell you. But make sure you check out the website that Tyhe is actually talking about, which is www.prideofvoyager.com. Pride of Voyager is all one word. It's free to join, so get yourself, I was going to say get your ass along there now and make sure you join. So Tyhe, we talked about this in the week that it's 70 years to the day this week after the end of World War II, and the first and the last of the documents authored and signed by Adolf Hitler continue to impact on events and the hearts and minds of man and womankind. At 4 a.m. on April 29, 1945, the man who had vowed that his Third Reich would last 1,000 years signed his final political will and testament. Later that same day, he would marry his longtime girlfriend, Eva Braun, and the next day they allegedly committed suicide rather than be captured by the Soviet army. Centuries will pass away, but out of the ruins of our towns and monuments, the hatred against those finally responsible, whom we have to thank for everything, international Jewry and its helpers, will grow. Now, no one took the then unknown, I'm sorry, I'm having technical problems today. No one took the then unknown corporal seriously. Later, the world dismissed his book, Mein Kampf, as a bombcast, and then in 1938 embraced the promise of peace in our time, despite the evidence that Hitler was preparing for war. Now, the next year, Hitler would launch World War II and his genocide against the Jewish people. And 70 years on, what have we learned? Not a damn thing, clearly. Anti-Semitism is on the rise once again, and governments fail to stand up to it. Jews once again live in fear because of intolerance and hate, and we need to stamp it out. Now, is it fair of me to say that we've learned nothing, Tyhe, or do you think we've learned anything in the 70 years since Hitler massacred the Jews?
I don't know what we've learned. I think we've learned to talk a lot about it, and I think we've learned to say, oh, that was terrible, that was horrific, but I'm not really sure we've learned how not to hate each other. But then I suppose I don't know whether my perspective even is different from people. My parents were slightly older than my peers, and my father fought in the Marines in the Second World War, and had a lot of stories. He was always a prisoner. He was a prisoner of war for a while as well, and was one of those soldiers who had the horrible task of freeing people from a concentration camp as well, and saw some horrific things. So my perspective maybe a little bit more intense, but I just remember hearing those stories and seeing the look in his eye and knowing that changed him forever,
right.
As it would have changed all those soldiers. I don't think that's something you can ever walk away from and not be changed by. But I think people just see those stories, hear those stories now, and see those photos, and I don't know whether they're touched by them anymore. I think we've become desensitized to a scary point. And what really actually scares me about it, and I mean scares me about it, is that we seem to be moving away from it as if, that was something in the past, it's not really important anymore. And the idea that anti-Semitism is rising again. Why? What's happened? What have we missed? Why is it on the rise again? And I was having a conversation about this week with somebody, and I don't know, when I was having the conversation, and I'll tell you about the comment they made, obviously in a second, but when they made the comment, I was looking at them thinking, are you winding me up? Or do you mean what you just said? And we were having this conversation about this fact and about, because obviously it's Belsen as well, isn't it? 70 years as well since the closing of Belsen concentration camp. And he looked at me and said, we're talking about anti-Semitism on the rise. And he said, well, but you've got to remember a lot of people have never forgiven them for killing Jesus. And I just looked at him and said, are you serious?
What?
Are you actually saying that to me now? And well, it's all about the Bible, isn't it? And I said, no, you've got, really? Are you serious? But if you're going to go down that road, well, he rose up. He came back, didn't he? So what are you blaming people? Are we actually going to have this conversation? And as I looked him in the eye, and I thought, my God, you're serious. You're serious about it. And I didn't know where to take it. And as you know me a long, long time, I am never, ever stuck for words. I mean, I say it sometimes in phone, or, he actually left me speechless. I'm never stuck for words, particularly in this kind of debate. And he actually, I was speechless. And I had to walk away from him because it's the first time in a very long time I could feel violence actually stirring up in me. And I had to walk away because I didn't know what to do with it. And I just thought, please tell me that he's just an idiot, basically. And that's the only basis he can form for an argument. I mean, please, I'm just hoping his IQ is that low.
Well, it's kind of like
blaming
the Jews for killing Jesus is kind of like blaming the Germans for the rise of today's Germans for the rise of Nazism. But here's the thing. Anyone with an ounce of sense will be able to tell you, if they've read the Bible, that the act of Jesus being killed on the cross, being crucified, was according to the Bible, and I believe it too, if I'm totally honest, that it was an act of contrition. So for anybody to say they don't forgive the Jews for killing Jesus, when clearly, and it's a major messes with your head majorly to think about this, that it was actually part of God's plan that he would give his only begotten Son to die for the sins of those who accepted that they were sinners. So for anyone to actually say that Jews are to blame for Jesus' crucifixion, 2,000 years on, it's a bit warped. It's a bit of a warped ideology for me.
Of course it is. It's warped. It's completely warped. But what stumped me, it wasn't even that, Xander, that stumped me. It was this whole idea that could possibly be an excuse or reason for anything. Because as far as I'm concerned, anyway, it was the Romans that crucified him, and they were pagans. So it just, well, you can hear me stammering now. It beggars, and I've been thinking about this, obviously, leading up to the show, and it still beggars belief for me. I cannot get my head around, and there is no way on this planet that anybody can use that as a reason for anti-Semitism. But I'm still stammering. Getting back to it now is the question is, what is causing this now? Why is anti-Semitism on the rise again? But this is one of the things, we were talking about last week. This is what I was genuinely concerned about with this Religious Freedom Act. What does it really imply? And I thought this was the first thing that actually sprang to mind for me was, well, what does that mean? Because to me, religious freedom means you can turn around and say to somebody, I don't want to serve you or have anything to do with you because of your religious choice. That's what it meant to me, nothing else.
Right.
And to be honest, I thought that was the insidious part of that bill. That's what truly scares me. Because you could turn around and say, I'm not serving you, you're a Jew. And that was the first thing that sprang to mind for me. Or I'm not serving you just to balance it out because you're a Catholic or you're a Christian or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because that to me is what religious freedom meant.
But the reality of this is that you could walk into a business in Indiana and they could say, I'm not serving you because you're gay. But you could not say, I'm not serving you because you're a Christian or because you're a Muslim or because you happen to be Jewish.
But you can't have the Religious Freedom Act.
No, but you can because the Religious Freedom Act doesn't cover non-believers. If you're an atheist, you cannot refuse to serve Christians and any other denomination because you would be penalized for that in these states.
Well, we've moved, but they've changed the goalposts, though, haven't they? That's the point of it all. What my point is, though, that's what scared me about it. It wasn't. Do you know? That's the first place I went to. Nothing to do with us or that kind of discrimination. The first place my mind went to or my heart went to, what made me scared about it was that. It was this idea that you can start discriminating because of somebody's religious beliefs. Because that's what I heard, religious freedom.
Exactly. Because when has anybody actually ever been discriminated for being a Christian or how many businesses have ever really said, I can't serve you because you're Jewish and I'm a Christian and we don't kind of see eye to eye. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. But this is the point. What scares me about it is, why is it anti-Semitism again? Where is this coming from? What is going on? Because this is the other point, and you've just kind of half made it then. When has anybody ever turned around and said, oh, anti-Catholicism on the rise again? Who's fueling this fire? Where is it coming? Where is it coming from? This is what we need to find out, because the only way we're going to stamp it out is finding out who's fueling it, where it's coming from.
I actually have a, I'm probably going to get lots of hate mail for this. Don't send it, because I really don't care. But I think that I've written a lot about what I call trickle down hate. Now, if the highest authority in the land, the president, can be disrespectful towards Jews and Jewish people and the leader of the Jewish nation, how are people supposed to see that? Do you know what I'm saying? So if the president can be dismissive of Jews and the Jewish people, and the leader of the Jewish nation, Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, that kind of sends a message out as well. But there's a twofold part to this commentary for me, and that's that. And again, I'm going to be specific. I'm not talking about all Muslims, but some radical Muslims feel they have the right to kill gays, Christians, anyone that basically is not a Muslim.
It's not Muslim.
And what is turned on its head is because in America we enjoy this freedom of speech. Where does that freedom of speech end? Because the ideology is if you have freedom of speech, you can actually say exactly what you please. But if I was in a prominent public position as a senator or whatever, and I said, I hate Muslims, kill them. Now, I'm not saying this before I get death threats or anybody calls in, but I would quite rightly be shouted down for that. So how is it okay for other people to do that? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, fear, because this is exactly the point, isn't it? If we shouted that, you would have, apart from fear of personal retribution, as a nation, we can't do that. It's considered racist, or it's considered bigoted, and we bow to that, and we always have done. We've bowed down quickly to many nations when we've had the finger pointed at us, and never really thought of what happens when it's returned. We just say, oh well, we can't really say much. They've got the right to say that, haven't they? And we know how far freedom of speech goes, doesn't it? Look at the Westboro Baptist Church. They are a disgusting bunch of people, who should hang their heads in shame. They're a disgrace, but they're allowed to do what they do because this is, it's the freedom of speech. Well, as far as I'm concerned, things like that, that's not freedom of speech. It's just, I use the word disgusting. It disgusts me. But it's okay, and that's the same as terrorism. You're right. If you're not a Muslim, then we're talking about obviously the radicals, not just talking about Muslims in general. But they think it's okay, infidels. That's okay. Well, on what level is that okay? And if you're a Jew, well, it's okay. We don't like Jews. Okay. How? What are you talking about? None of this is acceptable. But we do. We seem to bow down and go, oh well, sorry. We apologise for being non-Muslim. We apologise for being who we are. And I'm like, well, I'm a bit sick of that. Why am I apologising?
You know what's happened there, don't you? Political incorrectness has just tipped on its head, because for the last 25 years, we've welcomed other cultures and other denominations into our nest, if you like. And now what they want is they want to kind of own it. When I lived in England, and there's a company called Mecca that lives in England, and they have lots of gaming companies and bingo halls and gambling and stuff like that. And the Muslim community in Bradford turned around and said, or the leaders of the Muslim community in Bradford turned around and said, you can't use that because that's our holy place. It was an acronym, for God's sake. It wasn't even the world. They called it the word. They called it Mecca, but it was an acronym. Because we've been too tolerant, and that's the problem. Now, I would never say it's okay to discriminate against people because they're a Muslim. That is absolutely unquestionably wrong, but the idea of equality and living together is exactly that. Why should anyone have more rights than anybody else? Because we discussed this on the show before. When it actually gets to that point, that anyone has any more rights than anybody else, that's not equality. It really
no, and
isn't.
So absolutely not. And that brings us nicely to Hitler, doesn't it? Because that's exactly what he wanted. He wanted the Aryan race. He wanted, they were going to be the elite race, and everybody else needed to go, and that was the point. And that's what's so scary about this. It's happening again. But Putin in Russia, people are turning their back on what he's doing, and he's going to get more and more outrageous with his demands. It won't just stop with gay people. It'll start, suddenly one group of people won't be it won't be good enough, and it'll escalate from there. So anyway,
so feel free to call us and tweet us about what we've been discussing today. You can call us throughout the show on 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. You're listening to Xandermonium. I'm Xander Gibb.
And I'm Tyhe Egar.
So our next guest is waiting in the virtual green room right now. Born and raised in New York, St. Louis-based designer Olastyle Hawatmeh credits much of her artistic flair in fashion and design to her multicultural upbringing, Jordanian/Lebanese atmosphere. So the rich colors and textures of traditional Lebanese art and clothing helped to mold Ola's affinity for bright, bold colors. She has styled countless celebrities, even friends of mine, and has designed for the Oscars, New York Fashion Week, and various music videos. She also founded Olastyle on the heels of the success in another venture, Mom Me Makeover, a personal styling company proving inside-out makeovers focused on mothers to help them feel more confident about themselves. So I'd like to welcome for the very first time to Xandermonium the one, the only Olastyle Hawatmeh. Welcome to the show, Ola. How are you doing?
Well, thank you for having me.
Hi, Ola.
It's a pleasure.
How are you?
I am fabulous. How about you? It's 75 degrees here today, and I have my fan on and the AC, so I'm pretty cool. So I pity anybody that doesn't have a fan and an AC today. I really do. What's the weather like in St. Louis?
In St. Louis, it's actually it's nice today. In the 70s, pretty warm. 30% chance of rain. I sound like a news report. I sound like a weather woman.
Well, my co-host here is in England. He's in the United Kingdom. He's in Glasgow in Scotland. So what's the weather like with you, Ty? Just so we all get our weather impetus out there.
I haven't looked out the window, but it's fairly certain it's either raining or it's going to. But
right.
We're at the top end of the UK, Ola. So we've had actually some really good weather over the past few days, but generally speaking, we look forward to snow or rain. It's that kind of place, really.
I say we all need a trip to Miami. What do you guys say?
I'm up for that.
I say you get the margaritas ready. That's what I say. So let's kind of start. Let's start with the basics. Now, do you think everybody is capable of having style? Because I see some people, and I think, my gosh, who dressed you? Do you think a lot of people have style blindness, and what do you think causes that?
Do I think some people have style
blindness?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I really do. And I do see even A-list celebrities with all of this money, and their style sense is just different. They have no style sense. They put together a $6,000 outfit that looks like it was from a thrift shop. The thing with me is not only am I straightforward, but I think style and fashion comes from something. You're either born with it. Of course, you develop over time and you kind of grow with style and fashion. But that desire to be stylish is definitely something within you. And some people, I think they're definitely, they have that blind side, or they really don't care. They don't make it a priority. And that's where
that's where you come in.
That's where I come into play.
Absolutely. So what are the biggest mistakes that you think people make with regards to style? Because like if I'm just going out to the grocery store, I'll just put on jeans and a t-shirt and throw on a jacket.
Yes.
But if I'm going to a function, I'll kind of think it out a bit better. I'll add some jewelry, maybe a little bit of makeup, do my hair differently, wear it down, et cetera, et cetera. So what do you think are the biggest mistakes that people are making?
I would have to say clothes that don't fit them right. That is the biggest mistake to me. And cheap fabric is like the biggest pet peeve I have. But you can get away with cheap fabric if it's fitting and if it fits you well. When I see people that go out, you can wear sweats, you can wear jeans, but don't wear high waters. Don't wear, jeans that are, or sweats that are worn out, short on you, jeans that are, non-designer, but really you wear them high-waisted, or pleated khakis that don't fit you well, that are baggy, saggy. You see your underwear, you don't wear a belt. So finding stuff that fits you well, correctly, makes such a difference. People wearing shirts that are just, worn out or too short or too big. I'm sorry, but if you have, a gut or a stomach, don't wear a short shirt. They wear these worn out short shirts with high water pants, and it just, it would make such a difference if there were 3 more inches on that shirt.
Thanks for that image.
As we've gone there, I'm a big guy. I have a belly. There's always this kind of like people can't agree on whether, if you're a big person, whether you should wear stuff that fits you properly or whether it should be baggy. Now, I personally think that if you wear things that fit you as closely as possible, you don't look as big as you do with really baggy clothes. Right.
Oh, I agree completely with you. I think it looks, you said a bigger person. Yeah, you could definitely wear stuff that are fitted, are more fitted, that fits you correctly. Some people feel that are bigger. My brother is a big guy, and I got him in the transition of wearing, clothes that fit him more properly, because he felt if he layers more, if he wears 3 layers, it'll make him look thinner. And if they're looser on him. And I'm thinking, no, quite the opposite.
No, absolutely.
See, I don't have this. I don't have any of these problems. I'm OCD always, so everything is colour schemed, and it doesn't. Like Xander's saying, if he goes to the shops, makes no difference. Everything has to be colour schemed. Down to the underwear, by the way. I'll just share that with the world. And my friends always take the mickey out of me. They're always winding me up about that, and actually say, do the socks match? And my reply is, of course they do. So that's me, and everything's fitted. So I'm winning. So now I've got a fashion expert on the show. This is recorded. I'm playing this back. There we have it. Because you've just said all that, more or less.
But you seem like you carry the number one accessory, and that is confidence. It seems like you have so much confidence.
Yeah.
So with that confidence, you can get away with wearing whatever.
You can't buy that, can you? That's the problem. You can't buy confidence. I mean, you've either got it or you have to build it, basically.
Amen.
But I think mine as well comes from, I know I said on the show before, I've lost 90 pounds as well. I used to be huge and now I'm not. So I think that's kind of, that's done it as well. It's now a case of, look, this fits me. I don't actually have to wear a marquee anymore. But also I think as a performer you get that confidence, from I'm used to standing in front of lots of people. But the colour scheme is OCD. I can't help myself. But
not in its coordinated underwear, I hasten to add.
I think it's great.
I think one of the problems is, and this is something I find as a big guy, I've changed my life dramatically over the last 6 months to a year, and I've lost about 26, 27 pounds. I eat healthy, I eat gluten-free, I eat organically. But here's the problem. When you go to a store to buy clothes as a bigger person, what you find is they cut a pair of jeans for a small person the same as they do a big person. And to me, that's a big no-no because bigger people are shaped differently. And so if you make everything the same shape, you don't accommodate for that shape difference either.
Oh my God!
And I think that big stores would sell like bigger brand name stores would do a heap of business if they only sold if they sold stuff for bigger people that were cut properly, rather than just like cut on exactly the same line as every other skinny mini in the United States.
No, I completely agree. The tailoring of whatever it is you're buying, you know, from a big person to a smaller person, it has to be different.
Right.
When they're mass produced, they don't recognize that. And I agree with what you just said. That's a true statement. That's why a lot of
sorry, go ahead.
A lot of my clients that are bigger and that are having those problems, they have to have them custom made, which is a shame because they have to pay more.
Right.
But I think the same exact thing. In fact, I think, you know, there's certain. I had this complaint about one client, you know, he's a big guy, but he can't find clothes. I mean, he loves the designer, but that fits him. It just looks awkward.
Right.
Because of the tailoring.
I actually wish some designers would get a bit brave and start to make bigger sizes. Because, you know, like when you're above an XL, when you go into stores, the difficulty is you might get a 1 or a 2, but anything over and above that is considered, oh, no, we wouldn't want to stock that kind of thing. And let's face it, I don't know what the percentages are, but there are more bigger Americans than there are small Americans. So there is a real gap in the market, no pun intended.
There's a huge gap, and it's funny because I agree with that statement, but it's kind of like going into a maternity store. There really isn't much to choose from. So not only is the tailoring off, but the selection kind of is completely different. I'm sorry if it's supply by demand. Like you're telling me that all my big friends, this is their demand, like this is what they want to wear.
Yeah.
There isn't much to choose from.
Absolutely, and
right.
it all seems to be designed as well on the premise that that big people want to wear tents. Do you know what I mean? It's all it's all designed to be so it just literally hangs off people, and which of course makes people who are big look even bigger, which I think is why a lot of big people don't feel confident because they just feel that they're not wearing anything. You know, they're not wearing anything they feel dressed up in. They just wear something that is literally hanging off them like sack.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I want to talk a little bit about accessories, Ola, because some people over-accessorize, and some people say you can't over-accessorize. What say you? And give us some examples of a few accessories that everyone should have to kind of to make an outfit, to highlight an outfit.
I would definitely say a belt can definitely change any outfit. That's one thing that women don't recognize. To change up an outfit, to wear a high-waisted belt or a low-waisted or even a chain belt, it completely changes it around with layered necklaces, but not going overboard. But simplicity is always best. Not going overboard with jewelry and accessories, but making it simple and classy, and having it blend.
Absolutely.
See, I can't wear jeans or trousers without a belt. And I know I'm not a woman, but contrary to popular belief, but I just doesn't look right to me. It just looks unfinished. Do you know what I mean? It just looks unfinished, to me without a belt. It just seems something's missing. So I'm with you on that one.
That's such a difference. Or even like a scarf, like those hot scarves that are in. A double scarf. It takes like a plain jersey dress to a formality. I mean, you can just by adding a belt and a fun scarf.
Yeah.
So what about men? What about men, Ola? There's this kind of ideology of metrosexuality nowadays where they're always like really well groomed, their nails are done, they have pedicures, their eyebrows look absolutely perfect. Sometimes even more perfect than women. Shouldn't we be expecting that from all men?
Yes, absolutely we should be. You know, some men. I think the transition is being made, where men had this mental thing like, oh no, us get manicures? No way. We have to take care of our skin and use moisturizer? No way. Now I think men are recognizing that more and being more attentive, where you find more men into their appearance and accessories and hygiene and getting manicures and pedicures and facials. I have a couple of clients, their big thing is watches, you know. They have a whole dresser full of watches, and that's their accessory.
Me too. I don't know how many watches I have. But then I suppose, but we get away with it as gay men. I think, because we don't care. We're vain. So we take care of ourselves.
That's just what I was thinking.
Well, sorry, I was just going to add to that. I think, though, it's only in the past kind of 5 years or so that men have really had a choice of what you should call beauty products. Do you know what I mean? They've really had a lot of choice. Now there's a real decent range of things that men can buy. Straight men as well, obviously. I include you guys, don't worry. Because before that, there really was a poor choice for men to go out and buy. And they've repackaged things better now as well, I think, because now straight men don't feel embarrassed about going out and buying a decent moisturizer or a decent deodorant. Thank God.
Some of them do. A lot of my gay friends take care of themselves more so than...
But I think you've hit on something there, because I think a lot of straight men don't go and do a lot of these things because they wouldn't want to appear to be gay. Oh, guys shouldn't moisturize because that's gay. No, it's not. It's just about taking care of yourself. You know?
That is so true. Do you know how many times I hear that in a week? Oh, no.
Right.
They'll think I'm gay.
Go get a shower and ditch the stigma, you know?
Yes.
I will never understand these people that will kind of miss out on looking on being their very best just because they don't want to appear gay. I mean, I think it's ridiculous.
But then you'll get them to that point.
That's called being, they live their lives concerned with how others perceive them instead of living their lives for themselves.
But then you get to that. Absolutely. But they get to that point. Somebody said to me the other day, this is self-promotion for you all. Somebody said to me the other day, I'm 48, and they just said to me, you're looking at great, Tyhe. I said, well, that's the secret of moisturiser. So straight men listening out there, if you want to look great at the age of 50, start moisturising now. Never mind whether people think you're gay or not.
Exactly.
Well, men are also getting Botox. You see them a lot, not only with their appearance, accessories and how they look and facials and manicures, but also cosmetically. They're getting Botox. They're getting, all the stuff that females get to look young and good.
No, you can keep that. Thanks. Botox, I wouldn't have Botox done. I don't think. I'd never say never to surgery, depending on if my skin started falling off my face. I'm not saying I would never, but Botox really doesn't appeal to me at all. I like the way my eyebrows move.
Yeah.
So tell us about your Mom and Me makeovers. Tell us a little bit about that, and what kind of people come along to partake in that service.
I started that in 2007, and I started Mommy Makeover with a concept. I majored in journalism. I started writing a planner on etiquette and manners and giving seminars at Barnes & Noble. And so when I was giving these seminars to these kids on etiquette and manners, I'm looking at their parents. Keep in mind, this is Tampa, Florida, and I'm thinking, and the parents were just, do you love how I, the parents.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Oh, no. No, I know, and I'm laughing. It's one of my favorite places.
Keep in mind, this is Harlem, New York, but the parents were out of control, and
Florida is one of my favorite places. I'm sorry, I'm just visualizing. I know exactly what you're saying.
So visualize this. Here you have these kids trying to be attentive, and one parent smacking her son in the, telling him to calm down. The other one just freaking out. The other one distracted, rattling pills in her purse or whatever the heck she's doing. So I thought to myself, I said, okay, kids do not do as they are told, they do as they see. I need to start with the parents, and I need to create something where when a mom feels good, when she looks good, she feels good, and she is the magnet in the house. So I started a company, an idea called Mommy Makeover, recruiting a 5-star team to help and target these moms regain their confidence, their self-esteem, and feel good about themselves for the sake of their kids. You know, when I was giving these seminars, they were looking frumpy and not caring, and their kids, they're wearing one sock, the other sock is in the parking lot somewhere, just completely. And so looking at this, I'm like, okay, if we teach, and the moms feel like they're sacrificing for their kids, but not knowing that the examples that they're setting for their kids are examples to look frumpy, to not care about your appearance. It doesn't matter if you don't look good, but they don't calculate, okay, but you know what, when kids don't look good, and with bullying going around, and when they get picked on, that takes a toll on their self-esteem and their confidence.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like a dominoes effect, and that was the whole concept behind it.
Absolutely.
So when I started,
a
year after I started that, I started Makeover for a Cause, which is my charity, and that's an umbrella under 5 other charities. So I take on their clients and I make them over, between cancer teens and battered homeless women, whatever the case is.
Brilliant.
It doesn't matter.
Unfortunately, Ola, we have run out of time for today, but I hope you'll come back again because it's been really good fun, and we definitely must keep that date in Florida for the hot weather and the margaritas. But tell people where they can find you on social media and where they can get more information about what you do.
On olastyle.net, www.olastyle.net. Facebook, Olastyle Hawatmeh. Twitter, Ola Hawatmeh. Instagram, Style Ola. Miami in 2 weeks, all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like a plan. Listen, thank you so much. We've had great fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Please come back very soon and tell us more about what you do and give us some more practical style advice. But for now, thank you so much for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Ola.
Lots of love. Take care.
You as well.
Bye.
That was the fabulous stylist to the stars, Ola Hawatmeh. Make sure you check her out on social media. If you want to find her links, you can go to today's show page on www.xandergibb.com/radio. Our next guest is waiting patiently in the virtual green room. Originally from Glasgow, not Scotland, Tyhe. Don't get too excited. Glasgow, Montana. LA-based singer-songwriter Kenyth Mogan recently released a new single called "Unlock Your Heart," and we're going to take a listen to that while Kenyth prepares himself. And we're going to play that right now, and then we're going to have a little bit of a chat with Kenny if I can get this darn
You may not believe in love at first sight, and the thought of giving your heart. Oh, you wanna run away, yeah. You may not hold on to the dream of finding the thing. Oh, but let me be the key. Let me unlock your heart. Show me where to start. I'll give you everything that I've got.
Your Heart, the debut single from Kenneth Mogan's new album. Let's welcome back to the show, the one, the only, the fabulous Mr. Kenneth Mogan. Hey, Kenny, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you guys today?
I am fabulous.
Hi, Kenny.
I can't speak for Tyhe because he's in Glasgow, but not Glasgow, Montana. Glasgow, Scotland.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, no, well, not really,
Yeah,
Kenny. Sadly, I won't get the same kind of weather as you. Trust me.
Absolutely. I was asking him last time he was on the show, Tyhe, if the people from Glasgow, Montana, I asked if they were called Glaswegians, but apparently they're not.
Oh, really?
No, we're just the Scotties.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So tell us, that song we just heard was the debut single from your album. It's called Unlock Your Heart. Tell us a bit about the song.
Well, the song is it's actually the second single from my
I'm
my
sorry.
EP.
Fire that
And
researcher.
But it's pretty much it's my launch into the industry. So you can call it a debut. But it was just my friend Matt wrote it, and it's just kind of the original was something. Do you guys remember the singer Tiffany?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she did the original backing vocals on the demo that Matthew wrote. Matthew Hayes wrote it with a guy by the name of Aaron Harris, who is the Scarecrow in the music video. And it kind of all came together one afternoon. I needed one more song for the EP, and I was flipping through my iPod, and that one came on. So we decided that would be, or I decided rather that would be the one that I chose.
Brilliant. So how would you categorize yourself? Because, I know when people say to me, Xander, how do you categorize your music? I can never do that. How do you categorize your music? Can you actually do that?
I don't. There was an interviewer from Instinct I think it was not Instinct, DNA, and he's like, "You're like bright pop," and I'm like, "I like that. I can live with bright pop." So
absolutely.
I'm like, that actually works just fine for me.
Yeah, I've not actually heard that genre before, but I think however people want to categorize you, I don't care how you categorize my music as long as you buy it and like it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you touched a little bit on the video. After the show is over, I'll share the video on social media. But it has kind of like a Wizard of Oz theme, doesn't it?
Yes. It's very much based off the film, with a lot of elements from the book that people kind of caught onto really quickly, which kind of shocked me. I kind of did not expect it. So it was really cool that people kind of caught some of the references and things like that. So it made me very, very happy.
But there are a lot of kind of LGBT references with the Wizard of Oz, because it's not so common here, but like in the UK and Europe, they say if you're gay, they say, "Oh, you're a friend of Dorothy," and I never knew until like years later that was kind of pertaining to the Wizard of Oz, because obviously Julie Garland, how dare I get her name wrong? Julie Garland. Apologies to all the Judy fans out there. Judy Garland was obviously this enormous gay icon. So I guess it's all kind of circular and tributary too. So did you come up with the idea for the video, or?
I did not. The idea for the video was actually done by my manager. I had wanted to do Bewitched. So I'm a huge fan of the TV series Bewitched, and that's what I wanted. But it didn't really lend itself to the song. So my manager was like, "Well, let me think about it, and let me get back to you, and we'll see what we come up with." And he came up with The Wizard of Oz. And when he said The Wizard of Oz, I got all excited. I was like, okay, you know what? I can do that. That's amazing. So I was very, very proud of the end result.
Absolutely. When you say Bewitched, you're actually talking about the TV series, not the band from Ireland, aren't you?
The what? Oh, no. Yeah,
you're talking about
the band from Ireland is really good.
But when you say Bewitched, you actually meant the TV show.
Yes, the TV series.
Right.
Well, there are two things there. One, you don't have to be nice about Bewitched, the band. They're gone forever, thank God. And the other thing, now you said that, though.
I actually loved them when I was a kid.
Really? Okay.
I really did. I had both their albums. I don't know if there's any more, but I had the first two. And
no.
Yeah, my friends and I would dance around to C'est La Vie all the time. We were
really
nerds. I loved Bewitched, 18s, all the bands from that.
You were the one, Kenny, were you?
Yeah, I was the one.
I lived the 80s. I was, tragically, I was a teenager in the 80s, but there you go. But having said, I'll forgive you for that anyway. It's okay. Still like the song. But
they were 90s here, not 80s.
90s, sorry, 90s. Well, I was in my anyway. Never mind how old I am. It's okay, Kenny, not me. But now you said that though, you have to make a music video now based on Bewitched, because I love that idea. I used to love the series as well, but I love that idea. That would be a really cool music video, I think.
I think
I do
too. I want to. I really do, and eventually I will. I just have to have the right song, which I've already started working on the album. I have 4 songs demoed, but we haven't recorded them.
Right.
With a couple different producers. One of them is kind of very Alice in Wonderland. One of them is, I really don't know. Like I only have the Alice in Wonderland one kind of nailed down. But one of them, the next video, I think, it's going to be very simple. Unlock Your Heart turned out really great, but it was so high concept and it cost so much money. And I'm just like, I just want to do something that looks like every other kind of YouTube video-ish, something simple. Like, I'm a simple dude from Montana. I don't,
But it looks good.
Ooh, thank you. Sorry, if you hear banging and stuff, I literally just moved. Like, I got into my apartment the second I called you. So I just moved to West Hollywood, which is wonderful. You
see that level of dedication, Ty, without going into great detail from last week, but you see that level of dedication. The guy's just moved into his apartment like 5 freaking minutes ago, but he's still on the show to promote his single.
And I was so scared I wasn't gonna be here in time. I was like, oh my God, I was on the phone with my manager. I'm like, let me know when it gets close to 1:40. I have to make a phone call, and it worked out, which makes me very, very happy.
We really appreciate it, Kenny. Xander as well is just pointing out somebody last week let us down 20 minutes before the show. And our argument was, well, if you're going to get into music, darling, this is not how you do it. It's kind of.
So. Well, and I told him sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so this is, this is how professionals behave. So there you go.
Absolutely.
So you're listening. Hey, Kenny, this is how you do it. So
we totally appreciate where you're coming from, Kenny, because we're independent artists too. We've never had a penny from anybody else to pay for our music to be made in studio, our videos, or anything else. We've all been kind of like self-funded and stuff too. So we totally get it. But what advice would you give to other people out there that are trying to make a career in music? Apart from don't give up your day job, what would you tell people?
Just don't take no for an answer. Like, I very much am about doing it. Like, my poor parents were always like, it's a pipe dream. It might not work. You should really be a doctor or be this or do that. I'm like, I don't want to be a doctor. I'm going to move to Hollywood. I'm going to, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I've always told people who I was going to meet, what I was going to do. And for some weird reason, the universe, the higher power, whatever you want to call it, blessed me with a superpower. And I see someone, I'm like, I want to meet them or I want to work with them. And all of a sudden, one random coincidence after the other hooks me up. And I've gotten so lucky that, you know, I work hard. I work really hard, and that's important. You have to be willing to work. But the universe just kind of, I've met a lot of great people that have helped me on this journey, and it's been an incredible experience, like one I'm so thankful to be doing.
Absolutely. Because no one came and knocked on your door, did they,
well,
and said, you know, come on, let's make you a pop singer, or let's make you a singer. No one came and knocked on your door and did that, did they?
No, I was like, I'm going to do it. And so it wasn't until after, well, at first I was going to be a writer. That was my big thing. I wanted to be a writer and write books and da-da-da. And then it happened. I had a book that was published, and now it's like, okay, well, this is good, you know. So now I want to be a singer, and that really kind of took off, which kind of shocked me that it took off like it did. I really did not expect it to do what it's done. I really just kind of expected it, oh, yeah, you know, maybe something will kind of happen. I'll get a little bit of stuff, but it blew up. I mean, I've been blogged about, and I had a friend call me from D.C. that said, you know, I can't go on any gay blog without seeing your face. And he's like, that's so awesome. Because, you know, it's your bloke's from Montana. And,
wait, you're not gay, are you?
Yeah. Sorry. But it was just so awesome because, you know, and my new roommate's boyfriend is a singer, and he's on a cruise ship singing right now. And he Googled me, probably because he wanted to see if I was a psychopath, which I'm psycho, but in a good way. But he looked me up, and he's like, why don't you do this, do that? And I'm like, oh, I'm kind of scared to try this. And he's like, dude, anyone that could be in Huffington Post and DNA, no, don't have any fear. He's like, just do it. And he comes back next month, so I'm actually really excited about meeting him. I'm actually really excited. The guy I'm living with is an actor and has done a lot of stuff. So I really think we're going to kind of be able to feed off of each other's energies. And brilliant. I'm so stoked. I'm like, this is going to be so much fun. So
cool.
It
sounds fantastic. It sounds fantastic.
Go on, Ty. Sorry.
It sounds fantastic. It sounds, you know, it's great. Just the idea that you asked him if he's gay after talking about Alice in Wonderland. You know, I mean, you know, Bewitched and the Wizard of Oz. Really?
I was obviously being sarcastic. I mean, Kenny and I have known each other for quite some time now. I just think it's imperative that people know that even though Xandermonium is not a gay show, you know, the hosts are gay, and we're totally supportive of the LGBTQ ABCDEFG community. So there you go. So we have indeed come to the end of our time together, unfortunately, Kenny. But can you tell people where they can find you on social media?
Yeah.
Or most importantly, where can they buy your single? Where can they buy your track?
The single's on iTunes and Amazon and Spotify and all those wonderful retailers. And I'm on Facebook is Kenyth Music, Twitter is Kenyth Mogan, and Instagram is Kenyth Mogan.
Absolutely. And if you check the xandergibb.com /radio, all of Kenny's contact details are on there. Not his phone number, but you can get his newer address on there too. No, not really. But thank you so much. You've been on the show quite a few times now. I hope you'll come next time you got a song out and tell us more. And good luck with your move, and good luck, many blessings in your new home. And we hope you'll come back on the show in the future.
I will
nice
be
to speak to you, Kenny.
Times if you need me. You as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Kenny. Have a great weekend. Take care. Lots of love.
Good luck with the song.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
That was indeed the fabulous Kenyth Mogan. Make sure you check him out on Facebook, Twitter, and social media. And more importantly, make sure you buy his song, Unlock My Heart, on iTunes and all other reputable retailers. Not sure how reputable iTunes is. No, I take that back, allegedly. Before we get sued. Thanks to everyone who's made today's show possible. Thanks to the fabulous Tyhe Egar. Ty Paul Egar. I got the wrong bloody teeth in today. For being my fabulous co-host. Thanks to Stylist to the Stars, Olastyle Hawatmeh, and singer Kenyth Mogan for joining us. And thanks to all of you, yes, you out there, the listeners, because that's why we're here, for listening and for your continued support. Oh, yes, indeed. So would you like to say goodbye before I announce the final song and tell people about the gig of the people who are singing the final song? Ty?
Who, me? The gig? Who's singing the final song? I have no idea.
No. I said, would you like to say goodbye to our listening community before I announce?
Oh, good. I'm glad you said that. Sorry. As you said, would I like to say goodbye? I suddenly had the Sound of Music in my head and the Family Von Trapp. I'm not going to do it in that style. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us. And, of course, thank you to our fabulous guest. That was a really cool show. I really enjoyed it. Good night from me, Tyhe Paul Egar, and Xander. I'll speak to you through the week, sir. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Ty. Take care. Lots of love. So we're going to play out with the Easy Outs. Don't forget to go to their Stone Pony show with Marky Ramone and Andrew WK and the Easy Outs. And their new album is for sale. Advance tickets for their show are $20. Here's their song, I Ain't Got Nothing. I tweeted out the details earlier. Make sure you check them out and tell them that Xander sent you. This is the Easy Outs and I Ain't Got Nothing. See you next week, and I love you all. Bye-bye.
There's nothing around.